Hey folks, it's Mary. I want to talk to you today about how to turn a right triangle shawl into more of an obtuse triangle shawl. So let's get into it. Number one, when you are trying to change your pattern from that right triangle where the center point is about 90 degrees, which would be more of a half of a square, into something that is a little bit wider at the bottom, you have to understand it's not going to work with every shawl. This modification works best on patterns that start at the top and work out. So they go across this way, back and forth as they form the shawl. So if you have a long starting chain to begin your shawl, or if it's more of a trapezoid shape, or if there's multiple angles here, if it's not just a simple triangle, then this will not work. Show you just some little samples that I made up. For this one, I put 2 double crochets at every corner and 2 double crochets on every side. You have your starting chain, you chain up, that counts as double crochet, and then in that first stitch you'd add 2 double crochets. Once you get up to the middle, you would put 2 double crochets, then you'd do a chain space for the middle, and then repeat 2 double crochets, and then 2, and then your final double crochet there at the end. Basically what's happening is you're adding the same number of stitches on every corner and every side. So each half of it kind of comes up the same way. So here you would have 2 on the corners and 2 in the center, 2 in the corner, 2 in the center, 2 in the corner, 2 in the center, all the way up. You can maybe see it a little bit better up here where I did some chain spaces to show, but in the centers here, there's 2 double crochets with that chain space in the middle, and on the edges, you have that 2 double crochets and then like a little space and then that final one to end. So I realized that I need 4 stitches increased on every side. I have 2 here and 2 here. What would happen if instead of having 2 on the side and 2 in the center, what would happen if I did 3 on the side and 1 in the center? This is what happens. You start to get longer length on the wings, so to speak, and your point gets wider. So here you see I have 1 double crochet with that chain 2 and then another double crochet there in the middle. And that's my increase in the middle, is just 1. But then on the edges, I have 3 double crochets. So it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, still an increase of 4 stitches on every side. It's still growing on every side by 4 stitches, but I've just rearranged it so that the stitches are 1 in the center and 3 on the edges. What that does is it creates a wider shape. So as you keep going, your wings are going to get longer and your point is not going to be quite so pointy. So this little trick does not work with every shawl. What you need to do is watch your tutorial and listen carefully. Are the increases 2 and 2? Are they equal in the center as they are on the sides? Or are they already spread out a little bit? I think you'll find that a lot of standard triangle shawls have this 2 to the center, 2 to the side arrangement. Even this one that I'm working on right now, you can see the increase in the center is those 2 double crochets, and then it's 2 on the edges as well. So maybe your pattern says maybe something like that. If you see something like this, you know that this is a good candidate for making an obtuse triangle. If you were going to change this around, all you would do is you would redistribute one of these 2 double crochet here over into that 3. So you're not changing the pattern at all, except you're taking 1 stitch from here, from the center, and putting it at the corner. You're taking 1 stitch on the other side of the center and putting it on the other corner. So you see how we go from 2 here and 3 here to 1 here and 4 here. We still have 5 stitches total on each side of that triangle. Here's my little rough sketch. You see the difference here? All you're trying to do is redistribute so that your center point has fewer increased stitches than your corners. You want your corners to continue going out to either side, and you don't want your center to increase nearly as much. Keep the chain spaces in the center the same. Keep the other stitches the same, and yeah, have fun and experiment, see what you can do. If this process is a little confusing to you, you might want to start with a really basic shawl like this with lots of thick stitches and not a lot of chain spaces, not a lot of webbing in it. That will help you kind of get the feel for how the counts are going to be, how to modify the pattern. I would recommend going ahead and jumping in there. I took a shawl that is generally a very pointed right triangle shawl. And by redistributing the stitches and putting 1 on either side of this center space and then the 3 on the side, I was able to take a right triangle shawl and make it more obtuse. Having a longer wingspan means that you can wrap it around your body a bit more, maybe tie it, maybe tuck in the ends. Also, it might not feel as much like a cape or a tail going down your back, or you might have some more flexibility in how you wear it. Sometimes the triangle shawls can be so long on that point that you don't want to wear them with the point in front. So you're kind of limited to how you're going to wear them or style them. I have made this shawl 3 or 4 times already, so I knew how it was going to play out. Now you see in this one, you do have some of that grid work, some of that lace work. And in those cases, I say just kind of fudge it. Ultimately, you are the artist here. You get to decide how you want your clothing or how you want your wearables to fit. But yeah, every time you make something, you learn something. So I would say give it a try. So let me know if you have any questions. I hope that I was clear in this. I will have some right triangle shawl patterns that are kind of popular, and they would be good candidates, in my opinion, from going from a right triangle to an obtuse triangle. But let me know what you think, and if you have any ideas, please do let me know. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. If I'm not your cup of tea, thank you so much for listening this long. I do appreciate you, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Bye.